non-digital and digital skills and tools in delivering technology-enhanced lessons. Teaching becomes rewarding when learners get the most from instruction as manifested in their performance. An important element in engaging learners is when the strategy used in delivering the lesson uses an instructional material. When properly and appropriately used, it can spice up a classroom activity. These instructional materials may come in varied forms. One group refers to the conventional and non-digital tools. A classroom will always need a chalkboard or a writing board that may come in varied forms and shapes. Bulletin boards, flip charts, dioramas, puppets, terrarium, and the like will always find their significance in any classroom. However, nowadays, lessons can be made more relevant and engaging for learners as digital tools are integrated. The teachers need instructional materials to enhance teaching and learning. Instructional materials are defined as print and non-print items that are rested to impact information to students in the educational process. Examples of instructional materials are drawing, kits, textbooks, posters, magazines, flip chart, newspaper, diorama, pictures, recording videos, and the like. Instructional materials have several roles in teaching and learning, which include: first, they promote meaningful communication and effective learning. Second, they ensure better retention, thus making learning more permanent. Third, they help to overcome the limited classroom by making the inaccessible accessible. Fourth, they provide a common experience upon which late learning can be developed. And fifth, they encourage participation, especially if students are allowed to manipulate materials. Instructional materials are the supplementary materials which help the teacher to make his or her presentation concrete, effective, interesting, meaningful, and inspiring. In any teaching and learning process, instructional materials play a vital role as they provide sensory experiences to the learners. The primary aim of teaching materials is to provide the teachers the layout of the way for teaching in the classroom. It is important to understand how to develop instructional materials. Instructional materials refer to any pre-existing materials that are being incorporated, as well as to those that will be specifically developed for the objectives. There are also several factors to consider in developing instructional materials. First, develop a storyboard and working outline based on the subject goals and objectives. Second, identify existing institutional resources including materials and teachers' capability. Third, the teacher may research off-the-shelf materials that have been developed by others to determine if their approach could be useful. Fourth, explore the possibility of adapting concepts of other teachers without infringing on anyone's copy-protected design. Fifth, modify existing materials based on the objectives of the lesson. Sixth, if the instructional materials are effective, you can share them with other teachers. The teacher developer can also sell his or her materials available. That's for the seventh. Instructional materials are a great help in stimulating and facilitating the learning of the learners. According to Wright in 1976, as cited in Kakir 2006, many media and many styles of visual presentation are useful to the language learner. All audiovisual materials have positive contributions to language learning as long as they are used at the right time, in the right place. In the teaching and learning process, learners use their eyes as well as their ears, but their eyes are basic in learning. The following are examples of instructional materials. First, diorama. It will make the classroom to be creative and innovative. It is a fun way to build an exciting scene in a small space. Dioramas are small scenes created of layers of materials, all depicting a similar concept or theme. They usually display a historical time period, a nature scene, or a fictional situation. In developing a diorama, you will first choose a concept or theme. Second, research the subject. Third, make a rough sketch of your ideal diorama. Fourth, make a list of the items you'll need and gather your supplies. And fifth, select a container or a box. The second one is the nature table. This is a table that contains objects or scenes related to the current season or upcoming festival or a symbol of an ecosystem. Children love to follow the natural changes that the world offers each month, and classroom decorations reflect this. The third one is the writing board. A writing board can display information written with chalk. It could be a chalkboard or a blackboard, or special pens like a whiteboard. Although there are usually more effective methods of transmitting information, the writing board is still the more commonly used visual aid. The fourth one is the flip chart. It is a large tablet or pad of paper, usually on a tripod or stand. The fifth one is the zigzag board. It is a multi-board series of 3 or 4 rectangular boards. They are joined together along the sides by hinges so that they can be easily folded up and carried. Each board can be of different type, for example, a whiteboard or a chalkboard, a flannel board, and so on. The size of the boards of the zigzag multi-board depends on what you want to use them for. Sixth, the wall display. Displaying items on a classroom wall is a well-known, tried and tested educational method. A wall display is a collection of many different types of items and materials put up on a wall to make an interesting and informative display. In a classroom, the display can consist of the student's own work. It is a development work and it can be used to convey information to the community. The seventh one is a rope and pole display board. This board consists of 2 parallel horizontal poles tied loosely together with rope. Visual aids, such as posters, can be pinned to the rope. This kind of display board is invaluable where there are few solid walls for displaying information. It has no solid backing and can be made quickly for teaching, training, and when working with communities. Then, we have the guidelines when designing a conventional instructional materials. First, unity. Use only one idea for each visual aid and include a headline. The second is simplicity. Make ideas and relationships simple and easy to recall. Avoid cluttering a visual with too many words, numbers, and graphics. The audience should be able to grasp the concept in 10 to 15 seconds. Third, legibility. Make letters big and readable for all in the audience. The fourth one is consistency. Use the sample type, style, and art style. And the fifth is clarity. Clarity is about avoiding type that is too small to read and avoid all caps. And the last one is quality. Make it neat and professional and remember to proofread.